What's going on, guys, girls? Rob with you.
Oh, hey guys. Hi, Alex. Good morning to you.
Do we look like we're back? Do we look? Do we even? I mean, do we remotely?
Well,
Well, first off, let
we're
me just.
hey Darius. We're here. I've got bedhead going on, which I usually do in the morning because I don't shower
Uh,
right away on the weekends and stuff.
it's hanging in there, but
And
do
I'm still wearing what I slept in, and then um eh, and
um,
we're not real prepared for this, but we're here. Well, Rob might be. I'm not.
yeah, not too
I don't really
much,
know what's
not too
going
much. But I
on.
don't think it's going to take a lot of prep work, guys.
In
Alex,
fact,
Darius,
Alex is
both
probably more prepared than I am. I'm
they're
sure
both
he is.
here. All
Yeah.
right. What's up,
So,
Philip? This early game today,
hey, Philip.
Cincinnati, Alabama. I think there's only two. I think there's two things to look at here. Alabama's offensive line, Cincinnati's defensive line, and I mean it's a difference,
I'm finishing
heck
up
of a
a
difference.
session on fast route.
Um,
Hey, Anna, get off my dice.
the
Yeah,
defensive line of Cincinnati likes to play a three-man front,
take attitude with
and
me.
one of those guys is 224. The smallest guy,
Yeah, that's tiny.
the smallest guy for Alabama's front line is 295. They average. They're averaging 320 something up front each. Um, Darius says he thinks there's going to be a Georgia Alabama rematch. We'll come to that one in just a minute, especially at Georgia Michigan game. I think it should be a good one. What do you think about that one, Keith?
I really don't know. I mean, Michigan, I'm probably underestimating a little bit, but I think that they're capable of staying in the game. I just don't know that they're gonna.
What
I
about
just think
Cincinnati?
I
Okay, well
just
let's go the other way then. Cincinnati, Alabama. You asked, do you think Cincinnati has a better chance of winning that game
no, I don't think
than
they have any chance, honestly. And I'm not.
yeah,
I mean, I know that it sounds like I'm probably beating on Cincinnati and disrespecting them and everything. It's just I'm trying to be realistic about this.
right?
They're just
Exactly.
they don't have the depth that Alabama does. Alabama just the recruiting that they're able to do. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a great story that Cincinnati's in the game, and they did everything that they need to do to earn their chance to get to a game like this. But I mean, they just they're not going to be able to keep up with Alabama. I don't think. And Alabama's got too much speed, too much size, too much depth. Even if it's a good first quarter, it's not going to last.
and we're
I'm happy
we're we're, we're
Cincinnati's
talking
there.
about. Look, it doesn't matter. I mean, look who they play every year in the SEC.
Yeah,
It,
it
the
would be a
same thing. The same
gigantic.
thing falls to them once the second and third quarters come around.
There he is. I've actually been awake most of the last 4.5 hours, but I did take a little nap around seven, 2.5 hours ago. But I still look the way I did when I woke up, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting Cincinnati. I'm
And
not.
I understand you completely. I understand you
But
completely. But when you've
I
got
think it would be a
5 star
monumental upset to beat
when you
Alabama.
got 5 star recruits sitting the bench
Yeah,
waiting to play, they're
guys, we're going to
freshmen.
know very well next year.
Yeah, freshmen and sophomores now.
Hmm.
That all they've got to do is wait for one of those guys to get hurt, and they're right in there, and
Hmm.
they just step right up.
And to say,
Cincinnati's playing with so many 22, 23 year olds. It makes
and
a
I don't,
difference.
I'm not a fan of Alabama. I'm tired of them being in there all the time. I respect
Yeah,
what they do.
right,
Um, and I don't know that there's another opponent that you could substitute for Cincinnati that would do much better.
right,
I
right.
mean,
I don't think you could probably put. I keep hearing people say, "Well, you could throw Notre Dame in there." I don't know if they do any better or
Cincinnati
not.
beat them.
Right, Cincinnati. Yeah, and Notre Dame might be able to throw them some curveballs some kind of way, but I don't think that they could give them any more of a game in Cincinnati. You
I
agree?
mean, you'd have to have a school that's got some recruiting depth. You know, maybe Oregon could or Ohio State could stay with them for a while.
Yeah,
But
if
just
right.
because you know that they're going to have more players on the bench that they can go to, even USC, maybe, I mean, they would get clobbered because they're not very good.
Michigan, how
But
about Michigan State?
maybe I
Did you
don't
see them
know. I
last?
don't know
You
how
see
deep
them?
their rosters are
Did you see them play last night? Boy, they look bad. I mean, they
against
just
Pittsburgh.
they beat the
They,
shit out. They beat
yeah,
the hell out of Pittsburgh. Yeah,
yeah, maybe, but I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just Michigan, might be able to give Alabama about as good a game as they could. Will Georgia? I mean, but
right,
Alabama's probably a little better than Georgia after what we already saw head to head
right.
there. Um,
So, um,
I just think Alabama. It might be good for a quarter. It might be good for a quarter and a half.
yeah,
Something will probably happen before halftime that's going to cause a little bit of separation if it hasn't already been blown up.
and then by the start of
The
the
second
third
half is
quarter,
probably going to be pretty much all Alabama.
and then by the start of the third quarter, it's going to be like, watch out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Cincinnati's got to shorten the game. Obviously, they got to try to keep the ball
Now
because
look, I got
Alabama
some
can hit the big plays.
I got some numbers right
With
here for
speed.
you, and you tell me whether it's going to be an over and under. Alabama only averages running 147 yards a game.
Yeah,
They
only.
only average. Do you think they exceed that today?
Ah,
I think they may double it. I think they may double it. If they're able to get in there
it
and just
depends
start.
on what plays are working early. I mean, if they're able to do anything they want, they might run and then throw a big pass and then score on the touch. I mean, it might be like a 3 yard run and then or a 5 yard run and then a 50 or 60 yard touchdown pass. I think they could if they set their mind to it or set their game plan to it.
To
I don't
just
know
run
that
and
they
to
will.
just run
Yeah,
it down their
yeah, but
throat.
they might just get a good size lead and then get kind of conservative or just at least
Darius, Rob, and Keith, does this year's Bama team compare to last year's? I say no.
probably not. I mean, it's a
Um,
good team, but last year's might have been their best one.
might have been their best one in the last at least 10,
Yeah.
12, 14 years. Yeah, they were stacked last year.
Mhm.
They don't have any receivers. They got good receivers, but they don't have as good receivers as they had last year. No. Alabama's rush defense, 82 yards a game. Now, I know Desmond Ritter likes to run a football. He likes to,
Mhm.
he's a whole lot like a kid from Baltimore, Jackson. He likes to run, but are they going to let him go ahead and run crazy? I just
I
don't
think
think
that
so.
no, I think that they will run the ball a lot today. I think even if they get behind, that they're probably going to run the ball a lot today. I mean, I don't think they really want to pass too much because you know that's putting the ball in the air, and I don't
Well,
know if you want
that's the
people's
way they
chances.
live, though. That's the way
Yeah,
that's
but
the way they
but I have
survive.
a feeling that they're gonna. I think they'll probably have more rushing yards than they normally do, and
Mm,
probably
okay.
fewer passing yards.
See,
Just because of what their game plan, I think will
see.
be.
I'm just the opposite. I think they're going to be forced to throw. I think they're going to be forced to throw. Uh, we'll see that. Yeah, they got two. They got 3 running backs deep. I just don't see them running on this team. I really don't. I really don't. I think the problem could come if Alabama ends up having to throw the football. They get a kid named Kobe Bryant, and he's actually going to wear number 8 today in
Oh,
honor
for the
of.
basketball player.
Yeah, yeah. So that should be interesting. But to me, the 5 players that you worry about if you're the Bearcats, Evan Neal 350, Javon Cohen 295, Chris Owens 307, Emil Ekior 324, Kendall Randolph 298, That's their front. That's their 5 start offensive lineman. Um, I just don't know. I just don't know how you gonna solve that. I really don't. I don't know how that mystery gets solved. Um,
Yeah,
that's
Cincinnati's probably got to put 8 or 9 up front.
put 8 in the box, and then you got yourself
Yeah.
one hell. And if that is, you still gonna leave four receivers out there. Um, then we go to
Yeah, so
Michigan
Alabama
and
spread, then what are you going to do?
Michigan and Georgia. I really think that game. I think it's going to come down to. Um, I think it could come down to a field goal, and
I think that's possible, but I hope you're right.
I
But
believe it's going to be a close game. I really do.
I was surprised
If
at
either
what
team, if
Alabama
either
did
team
against
gets beat,
Georgia.
I'll say this: if either team gets blown off the field, I think it's Georgia. Because I think I don't think I think Alabama's defense is too good to hang in there with.
I
They ain't got blown off the field none this year.
see. That's the thing. I'm guarding myself against reading too much into that Alabama Georgia game as it goes into this game. I mean, yeah, Alabama surprised me at what they did to Georgia. I don't want to. I don't want to overreact to that result and think now that Georgia is all of a sudden a
Well,
team
they
that can
really
be
didn't do
beaten
nothing
by a
all
lot of
year.
different teams.
There's
I
four,
just,
there's 3 or 4 games this year Georgia didn't show up offensively
yeah, but
against Florida.
I think
They
it's,
just
I
didn't
think,
play.
yeah, but I think Georgia or Michigan has to play virtually a mistake-free game. I mean,
Wow.
turnovers will destroy them today.
Yeah.
So, and Georgia does still have a defense, I think, that can be good. One thing I was surprised about, though, what I hearing about, and I guess this is just something I could have known, but I didn't. And that was when I was listening to the broadcast of that Georgia Alabama game, and they mentioned Georgia had about 3 players that were like walk-ons on that team.
Yeah.
A couple of them on defense, I think, and while that's they had a real good defense, makes you wonder how good those guys, what the ceiling on those guys is. Are
Right.
they real good, or are they just
right? If they were able to walk off the street just to come out there and play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they walk-ons? I guess would be the question.
Right.
Was it because they were good but didn't know that they wanted to play football until they got to college, or
Right.
was it?
It's so many questions anytime you're talking about college. Why this kid did this? Why this kid did that? And all that kind of stuff. It's always.
But it might have been because of those guys. Maybe they met their match against a team like Bama, and then there were mismatches out there that they couldn't.
Florida, yeah. They are. It's going to be good games today. 3:30 is going to be that first game Eastern time. 2:30 your time, I think. Been crappy outside here all day. It looks like it may be going to rain.
Yeah, I think Big Ben is retiring after the season, Alex, and Aaron Rodgers is talking about maybe retiring again. He said he hasn't made that decision yet, but he said he's going to make his decision very soon after the season's over.
Yeah.
As far as the coaches, Nagy out, Carroll, I don't know, maybe Zimmer. I thought he was going to be gone after last year, and there's somebody there that likes him, and they're competitive, but maybe his luck runs out. Fangio. See, now the thing with Denver is, though, I don't know that they really underachieved this year, did they?
They don't have nothing.
No.
They don't have offense.
The defense played fairly well.
Russell Wilson, where do I think he plays next season? Chicago.
And Rule, Carolina was off to a good start when Darnold was playing kind of out of his butt, but he crashed down to earth again. And Cam can't really seem to do much. And then, of course,
If Russell
McCaffrey
doesn't
keeps getting hurt.
if Russell doesn't come to Chicago, peg him for Pittsburgh or New Orleans. He's coming east though. He will not stay.
Yeah, I think the
In
Bears are
Seattle.
probably still going to stick with Fields.
Probably.
You think Wilson could go to Pittsburgh?
Definitely. He's coming east. He's coming east. He and
What about
Coach,
Cleveland?
It could happen, and I'll tell you what. That could be an instant. That could be an instant Super Bowl pickup right there.
Yeah,
That could be.
well, that would give them a stability that Mayfield just doesn't seem to have in him.
That they ain't had with him at all.
Yeah,
You're right. A lot of people don't like it when you hear it, but
we got another pod in here.
Look where they're sitting. Yeah, I definitely don't think. I don't think there's anything right now that the Browns can do this year to turn it around to where they could go to the Super Bowl. Do you?
For this year?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, there are just too many hurdles they got to jump, and too much help that they need. I think right now to even get in.
No, the Ravens are happy with their quarterback. They won't mess with Jackson.
Or is he asking if we think they can get to the postseason? Are they
is that which question, Philip? I thought he was saying maybe could Russell Wilson end up at the Ravens. I don't think that could happen, though.
No, because they might like that. They might rather turn to that guy that was playing when Jackson was injured than.
He was referring to Wilson. Yeah. So, who will be the most dangerous non-top 3 seeds in the playoffs? Oh boy! You got to look at. You got to know that.
So, anybody, what would be your first 3 moves if you became the Texans GM?
Right. Who do you get?
What are you thinking about in terms of free agency? What are you thinking about in terms
you're trying to unload that quarterback for anything you can get for him.
Yeah.
Number one. And the league has made it clear that they didn't let him play this year.
I think the Texans need to do probably what any team that's a big mess needs to do, and that's just get a good line on each side of the ball to start with and start working on that. And then maybe year 2, you start working on your quarterback if you got one out there that you think is going to be a potential franchise quarterback.
There's a couple of them out there right now that I think people love. Some
secondary
the people out there love the Bills quarterback. I'm not sold on the kid. I
never was. I never honestly. I mean, he's a good stat guy, but he's no
better. He's no better than Justin Herbert. He's no better than Justin Herbert.
Both of them really, really good arm, and so does Herbert. But
you just don't know what you're getting week to week. Week to week,
trust him to make a strong playoff run 3-4 weeks in a row. Evan Neal.
Evan Neal's offensive lineman for the Alabama. Dude, anybody can use him.
A great offensive line. That's what I was going to say. He is good.
Anybody can use him.
Even a team that's got a good offensive line is gonna be a good fit for.
Right.
You always need depth anyway, and then if you got a guy that's good, but you can get a guy that's better, then get the guy that's better.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how these games fall into place today. It really is. Because 2 of them's done after today. Alabama, Cincinnati, Georgia, or Michigan.
See, I've got Alabama at probably a 98% chance of winning.
I think they got a great
And I got Georgia about probably between a 55 and 60% chance.
Yeah.
I think they would have to beat themselves a little bit to lose. That or Michigan's just got to play completely error-free football.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's going to be a real good game.
And I like Harbaugh. I mean, I've always
Yeah,
liked
I would love to see Michigan play Alabama, wouldn't you?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I just it'd be nice to have had a championship game without Bama in it for once, but it was 2 years ago, but they were in the playoffs.
And I just think Alabama would be nice to have in the finals. I don't know. We'll see.
Were they in the playoffs 2 years ago?
Who?
Bama. LSU beat Oklahoma. Clemson. Did they beat Bama or did they beat Ohio State to get to Ohio State? Didn't they?
I don't think Alabama was in it.
Okay.
I don't think Alabama made it.
The year LSU won it.
Yeah. With Burrow.
Yeah. Because
and everybody likes Burrow. Everybody you talk about, anybody you hear talk about Burrow, they're all.
Yeah, he's got that real calm demeanor, where he just doesn't seem like he gets rattled. Pressure doesn't seem to bother him.
And he doesn't. Yeah, they came up to him the other day, said something about. How was it? Somebody mentioned your name or something.
The guy from the Ravens, the coach for the Ravens, said that he didn't think he was should be like measured for his gold jacket yet or something.
Oh like yeah. He said, and he said, I gave it some thought before I threw for 350 against him. Yeah.
Well, no, or afterwards.
Oh, after 500, yeah, 500. Yeah, 500. That's what he threw.
Well, that's true. I mean, he shouldn't be measured for a Hall of Fame jacket yet.
No.
A long way to go. People would have said that about Jackson a couple years ago.
Well, somebody said that about Brady. I'm sure his first 5 years, first 2 or 3 years, and then officially after about 04, 05, you start going to every friggin' Super Bowl. People start looking at you like, okay, how do you know how to get somewhere where nobody else can? And it's crazy. But if he retired today and didn't play anymore, he averaged playing every other Super Bowl in his career. That's nuts.
You can get down to analyzing certain players for the Hall of Fame.
But that's nuts.
We don't have to spend a lot of time on a Hall of Fame discussion, but it's kind of like, what do you want the Hall of Fame to be? And you can say, the best players, or it could be something else. I mean, the Hall of fame can mean a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily mean great. It could just be somebody that was, just a big name at the time, somebody that was very well recognized, a fan favorite type of guy. And then, because we get down to guys like, Namath, who, his prediction, everything. I mean, it was a story. It was a big story.
But there's no way he should be there.
Do his stats add up? No. Does he deserve to be in there? Not with his stats, but if you go with popularity and all that kind of thing, if that's what you want the Hall of Fame to be, then, he shoehorns in there. Same thing with Greasy. He was with a running team for the most part and rode with Shula and the gang for a couple Super Bowl titles, and he's in there. And then the third name I was going to mention, one that will probably be another one to get in for the same reasons, will be Eli Manning. Plus, he's got a brother that's in there, but he's got the 2 Super Bowl titles. Did he win
his brother
in both of them, or just the one?
Is his brother already is his brother already a Hall of Famer?
I think so. Didn't he just get in?
He may have. Yeah, I believe you're right.
Maybe last year or something. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, we know he's going to. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But, and I've thought that about baseball too. It's like, what do you want the Hall of Fame to be? To me, Dale Murphy, you look at his numbers, it's questionable.
Right.
But he was a big name player at the time. He did win a couple MVPs back to back. So if he was in there, I wouldn't think that was wrong.
No, I know what you're saying.
Same with Roger Maris. I mean, if he was in there, I couldn't say you were wrong. But do his numbers add up career-wise to being in there? No. But he still earned a place in fame in the game with what he did.
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw, I think, is a guy that if you just went by his numbers alone, I'm not sure that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he was just with a team that he was surrounded with great players. Yeah, he was a very good quarterback and he had some impressive numbers from time to time, but he threw a lot of interceptions as well. Although you can say that about Brett Favre.
Yeah.
College basketball Final Four so far, Rob.
I wouldn't even know where to go. I hadn't watched 2 games this year.
Is USC still unbeaten, huh?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I tell you. Cannot tell you.
What's yours, Alex? You got Gonzaga in there still, and UCLA. Anybody from the Big Ten that's still doing really, really good? Because they had a lot of teams that were in the top 20 when the season started. I don't know if Illinois or Iowa or anybody's still winning a lot of games.
Yeah.
Duke, and Duke, he says. Kentucky's been pretty good, huh? Better than expected. I don't think they were expected to be real, real good, but I think they've done pretty good. Alabama, I don't know what they've done lately, but they had that impressive win over Gonzaga a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, actually, probably. But
yeah. Purdue's got some big boys too, I think.
I see. You can see a cat ear in front of me there. Baylor, okay. Oh yeah, Purdue was ranked number 1 just recently, weren't they?
Yeah.
Defending champ Baylor.
I'm not reading any of the comments right now, so.
Oh yeah, Alex is Gonzaga, Duke, Baylor, and Purdue.
Okay. I don't even have them up.
You still got your ID gesture.
Yeah.
You need a better steering wheel.
We're gonna we may come back around here for the semifinal game, guys. I got some cleaning up to do on some of my email stuff, a whole lot of stuff. Keith's got who in his hands now? I can't think of his name.
Hannah.
Meow, meow. Meow. Meow, man. She don't say nothing. She's quiet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh. But, yeah. I got some stuff to do today. A little bit of running around. And I'll actually try to go to the grocery store for the first time in 3 weeks. I don't even remember how to get there, boys and girls. I got to get a GPS to find the damn place. You all have a great, great rest of your day. For me, Keith, we will be back around, and chances are we might be back on tonight. And, hey, could be interesting if Alabama loses, but, hey, Keith says you say 98% chance they win.
Well, I mean, yeah, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give them an 85% chance of winning, and then I'm gonna say
I'll be happy if Cincinnati wins. That'd be great. But
I'm gonna say Michigan wins 54%. I think it's going to be a good
You
game.
give them the odds. And
Yeah, I actually if somebody
what's the line on that one?
7.5.
Favoring Georgia.
Yeah, and I'd take those points all day long. How about you? All day.
I probably wouldn't bet on that game, but
The other one's
yeah, I might take 7.5.
The other one's 13.5. Now I would give 13.5 up in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just think Alabama's going to have short fields somewhere today.
Well, they're not going to
drive.
too.
They're not going to drive 90 yards every time to score. You agree?
Well, they're going to have at least a couple of drives where it's like 2 plays, 70 yards, and a touchdown. I think.
Yeah. Well, they may even start in the red zone a couple times. Yeah, they're going to make them cause some mistakes, and if they do, they're going to be in trouble. And we'll see. But this is where Luke Fickell gets paid, folks. This is where Luke Fickell gets paid. If he can come out and outduel this Alabama team, then open the checkbook. Open the checkbook, because you're going to have 25 teams that want him after this, and it's just where he can make his money right tonight. So, you all have a great rest of your day. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.